you the workout that I do now for my legs and for my glutes. I don't go to a gym and work out, so I don't have access to machines all the time. I do work at a high school, so they have some machines at the high school. I'll go there one day a week to work out and do a different part of my legs, and then I also do my legs another day here, just using the free weights that I have in my house. So I do break legs and glutes down into 2 days, doing certain things here in my home with free weights, and then certain things at my job using the machines. The nice thing about the machines is that you can stack a lot of weight on the machine, and you can really get a good lift. When you have free weights, you're somewhat limited to whatever you have in your home or wherever you're at using those free weights. When I do the free weight exercise in my house, I have to say it's a little bit more glute and hamstring based. And the next day when I wake up, I really can barely sit down. And my hamstrings and my glutes are very sore. Kind of live for that feeling. But so I'm going to show you the things that I do in my home, and then I'll show you the things that I do at the gym. I'll just provide a couple of links so you can see what I would do at the gym. When I work out my legs and my glutes, I always do 3 sets, and I do up to 10 reps, and on 10 reps, I really cannot do another single rep. My muscle is completely fatigued. When I do the workouts at my home, I'm going to show you a bunch of different exercises, and of those exercises, I usually only do 5, and I'll change them up every week. Still only doing 3 sets total, up to 10 reps each. So I'll go ahead and show you a couple of things that I do in my house for legs and glutes. The first thing that I do for my legs is a squat. When you do a squat, the deeper that you allow your body to go, the more you're going to engage your glutes. And that's why I really love doing squats. If you really get your body down pretty low, once you push up, you're pushing up, squeezing your butt, squeezing your glutes, you're going to feel it in your glutes. So the deeper the squat, the more you're going to engage your glutes. So here's how I do a squat. And I usually use really heavy weights, and I have a very bad wrist, so my hands are always up here. But you can do them down here, whatever you like. I'll show you different variations. So here's with your hands to the side, like this. You're going to squat down. Okay? Your knees you're not leaning forward like this. Your knees are pretty much over your toes, and when you push up, you're pushing up, squeezing your glutes, squeezing your butt muscle. Okay? So here's your squat. Go back down, push up. Don't arch the back, don't bend the spine, it all stays straight. The only thing that's bending is my butt, like I'm trying to sit back down in the chair. When I'm low enough, I squeeze my butt muscles and I push up. Okay? And then same thing, just hands up. Pushing up. So that's your squat. And like I said, I like to do 10 reps because on 10, I'm tired. So that's your squat. I also like to do a single leg squat. I think when you do one leg at a time with some of these exercises, you really are isolating the muscle, you really are feeling it. I think the single leg exercises almost work your hamstrings and your glutes a little bit more than when you do 2 legs. So I'll show you the single leg squat. Remember, you want to do both legs. I'm just going to show you one. Right leg is going to be in front. Put your left leg up in a chair, in a step, whatever you have. You want to make sure that your knee, when you bend, is not going to go over your toe. Because when it does, you start to put a lot of pressure on your knee. So you want your knee to always be in line with your toe, even a little bit behind. Once you go forward, it starts to put a lot of pressure on the knee. I usually hold 2 weights. You can do whatever you like. But 2 weights will keep you balanced a little bit better. Just like the regular squat, go as deep as you can and push back up, squeezing that butt muscle. I'm squeezing my right glute every time I push up. Really giving it a squeeze. Left leg, bending as deep as I can, my knees staying over my toes, squeezing my left butt muscle, my left glute, and pushing right back up. And like I said, 10 reps, I would do 3 sets on each leg. So that's a single leg squat. The next exercise that I like to do is specifically for the hamstrings, gets the glutes also. I really think it works that area where we tend to get a little sag. It's a deadlift. You're going to start with both of your legs straight. You're going to hold 2 weights in your hand. If you have a barbell, you can go ahead and use a barbell. And you're simply just going to bend at the waist. not arched. Bend at the waist, keeping the weights directly below your shoulders until they're right maybe in the middle between your knee and your ankle. And then using these hamstrings, using your glutes, the hamstring is the muscle that is the back part of your thigh. Using those hamstrings, you're going to now squeeze on the entire time that your body makes a trip back up to the starting position. Okay? I'll show you from the side and then I'll show you with weights. Come this way, that chair's in the way. Okay, so you're going to start standing straight, feet are about shoulder width apart. You have your weights in your hand like this, directly underneath your shoulders, and I am simply bending at the waist. My back is not arched, I'm bending at the waist, getting my hands until they're about halfway between my knees and my ankles, and I'm already feeling this pull all right in here, and it feels great. And now when it's time for me to bring my body back up, I'm going to squeeze the glutes, squeeze the hamstrings, and pull my body back up. Okay, so here it is with weights from the front. This is a deadlift. Bending only at the waist, squeezing those glutes, squeezing those hamstrings as I come back up. Slow and controlled is better than fast and not in correct form. Okay, and then from the side, bending at the waist, squeezing the glutes, squeezing the hamstrings. Bending at the waist, squeezing at the glutes, squeezing at the hamstring. One more. This is a deadlift. Okay? Okay, another exercise that I do for my legs is a bent leg deadlift. It's a kind of a variation of the deadlift that we just did. You're going to start the same way we did with the deadlift. Your feet are going to be shoulder width apart. You're going to have your hands just hanging right here in front of your thighs, holding your barbell or your dumbbells. And just like we did for the deadlift, you're going to bend at the waist. But now you're going to combine the squat and you're going to also bend at the knees. So I'm bending at the waist and bending at the knees. And now instead of pushing up like we did through the squat, with the squat we pushed up and we pushed up through the heels, squeezing the glutes, we're now going to kind of pull the weights back up, squeezing the glutes. So we're going to pull the weights back up, coming back to that straight position, starting position. Okay? So you're going to bend at the waist, bend at the knees, and squat down. And now you're going to pull those weights back up to the starting position. I'll show you from the side. Here I am, starting position, bending at the waist, bending at the knees, squatting position, keeping the weights in front of my legs. And now squeezing the glutes and the hamstrings, I'm going to pull those weights back up. Notice the pulling motion. Pull the weights back up. Okay? Here's your squat, straight down and straight up. Straight down, straight up. Here's your deadlift, simply bending at the waist. And now here is your bent leg deadlift. Bending over, pulling back up. I'll show you with the weights. And from the side, bent leg deadlift. One more. Bending at the waist, bending at the knees, squeezing those glutes, pulling the weights back up to your starting position. Next exercise I'm going to do, anybody can do this. All you need is a chair. It's a step up. This really isolates the glutes from the other muscles because every time you put your foot down, you're pushing up using the glute muscle. This chair over here. Okay? You just simply step up and step down. Step up and step down. Make sure you get the other leg. You can do this without weights to start. I like to hold 2 dumbbells in my hand while I'm doing this. Just make sure you get both legs. This is very easy. It's a step up. Next exercise I'm going to show you is a lunge. The most important part with the lunge is that your end position, when you push up, once again, push up, squeezing those glutes. Don't just go through the motion. Focus on the muscle. So here's your lunge. With a lunge, you're going to step with one leg in front, and you're trying to get a 90-degree angle. Okay? Notice that 90-degree angle right there. Okay? And now, when I push back up with my right leg, I'm really squeezing the glute muscle. Every time I push up, I am squeezing with that glute muscle of the leg that is in the front position. So right now I'm squeezing with the right glute, squeezing with the left glute, okay? So that's your lunge. Another thing that I like to do is a variation of a lunge. It's a walking lunge. I love walking lunges. I feel like I get a better push through the glute when I do a walking lunge. Walking lunge is exactly what it sounds like. You're taking that lunge and you're walking across the room with it. You can start off once again without any weights. Once you feel like you have good balance, you can go ahead and start holding weights in your hand. Walking lunges not only combines using weights if you decide to use them, using power through the glutes, but it also combines a lot of balance because you're now moving across the room. So that's one of those exercises where you're really going to probably want to start off using no weights so you can get used to the feeling of doing a walking lunge and the balance. And the last things that I do I do a couple jumps on the plyometric box. I actually used to do these on my chair until a friend of mine made me one of these boxes. There's no problem with doing them on a chair as long as you have a wide base. The nice thing about the box is these boxes are usually a little bit higher than a chair. You can make them as high or low as you would like. The higher you're jumping, the deeper you're pushing down to push up on top of the box, which means you're engaging the hamstrings, the quads, and the glutes more. The deeper the push, remember like I said with the squat, the deeper the push, the deeper you're going to use those muscles that are involved. I just do a couple of things in here. I do squat jumps. I'll start where I jump up where my feet are far apart, and then I'll also do some where I jump up my feet are close together. That just kind of changes a little bit from using your inner thigh to the outer thigh. So I'll show you a couple of those quickly. I'm in my basement now, so my ceiling's a little low. But here is far apart jump. Come down. So you notice how my feet are on the edge of the box. And then I'll also do some where my feet are close together on the box. And you'll feel the difference in your legs from just changing the positioning of your feet. And the last thing that I like to do that really kind of kicks my butt is a jump on the side of the box. It's a little difficult for me to do in the basement because of the ceiling. But you're going to put one leg on, just like this, and you're going to jump up in the air. You're supposed to spring up as high as you possibly can and come back down. This isolates one side of the glutes at a time because you're using one leg. So you're really going to feel it. So I'm going to do a couple here. Remember, I should be really pushing and jumping up high in the air because my ceiling is low. I can't do that. Once again, toe and knee. I should not be leaning forward like this. Make sure the toe does not go over the knee. Other side. Remember, I should really be springing up high in the air on this. I didn't make this, my friend did, but if you know somebody who's good with using tools, all you need is some wood, some screws, put it together, and you got yourself a plyometric box. They're great to have. There's so many different things you can do on them. But that is my leg workout. Like I said, I will take 5 of those exercises and I will do 3 sets, 10 reps each. On my 10th rep, I cannot do any more. I'm very tired. I am struggling. And those are the exercises that I do in my home.